Well, today we have on Mr. Marion Harris, sir. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How are y'all?
Doing good. I think I can speak for both me and Ethan. It's an honor to have you on.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, definitely.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
So we always start the same way. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in, I was born in Franklin, city of Franklin, over on the East Coast. My dad's just recently retired, second time as a minister, 48 years. And our first church was in Southampton County in Peanut Country. And we moved to Danville in 1985 and basically stayed there until I was in college. And Mom and Dad moved to Martinsville. And so basically the East Coast for the first 7 years or so, 8 years, and then Danville. And then I've been here since 2001. My first year teaching was, 2001. Yep.
So your father was in ministry for all 48 years, or did he do something before?
So Dad, so I want to say he accepted the call into ministry right before I was born,
Okay.
or maybe right after. I know it was I was born in 76.
Okay.
He was working for the Highway State Department, some VDOT, and then he had a sales job at one of the auto places, auto parts places.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so he accepted the call into the ministry. I was the youngest, or I am the youngest of three boys. So he was doing a full-time church, going back to seminary during the week, and had family at home, and also a full-time church. So it was just amazing. I still remember, even though it was I was pretty young, I still remember him graduating from Southeastern Seminary, and that's in around the Raleigh area, Cary, North Carolina. Yeah.
And what did your mother do?
Mom actually stayed home most of the time. She is the definition of a preacher's wife. Preachers are called into the ministry. I think their spouses are called too. She stayed home, and she actually kept kids. So it's kind of like, Ethan, you and Callie were at the same daycare growing up.
Yeah.
And it was almost like Debbie's. Mom kept, and she did most teachers' kids. So she had all the holidays that we had, besides teacher work days. And I think that's where I got my love for kids, was I always helped her on those days because she paid me, to help. But she did that, for over 20 years.
Was that affiliated with your father's church, or was that kind of
No,
separate?
it was actually in home.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. She in home, and when I say that she is a definition of a preacher's wife, people ask me how long I've been going to church, and I tell people 9 months before I was born it was when I started going to church, because she was there every time the door was open. But no, it was a private daycare at home.
Okay. And you mentioned your brothers, how they were older.
Mm-hmm.
What was the age gap, and how did your relationship evolve as you got older?
So my oldest brother was born in 1969.
Okay.
So he is 7 years older than me, right at 7 years. Middle brother, Andy, is 1972, and then I was 76.
Okay.
So 7 years between me and the oldest, and 4 years between me and my middle brother. So middle brother and I were probably a lot closer growing up. I really looked up to my oldest brother. I think that's the reason why I became a Dallas Cowboy fan, because he was a Cowboys fan. So he went into the Marine Corps, and after he came out of the Marines, that's when we got closer. But yeah, it was always cool because, I didn't like it sometimes because I always had three dads, basically. But it was cool to have two people that were around me a lot that would take up for me, because, there was times where, not knowing, maybe because I was sheltered some, but my mouth would get in the way, and people would want to, just like, but my brothers were there to help with that. So,
What were some of your favorite classes in school?
Gym, no, so favorite classes. Some of the ones I remember the most, definitely not because I did really well in them, it's more because of the teacher.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a chemistry teacher, kind of like Mr. Mitchell. I mean,
Okay.
really, when I think the world of Mr. Mitchell. But my chemistry teacher, he actually came to us from NASA.
Wow.
And I remember him, this 11th grade, I remember him, we just finally was like, why in the world did you leave NASA to come to GW Danville to teach chemistry? And he wrote on the board how many hours he would spend in traffic in DC, on a daily basis or 5 days a week. And then he multiplied it by his career, if he would have stayed in NASA, how many years he spent on the freeway, in DC or the Beltway or whatever. And then he said, I come down here and I just fell in love with teaching. I fell in love with the students and teaching them a subject that a lot of people have a hard time with.
Yeah.
That's one. History was always a favorite of mine. My golf coach in high school was also my government, and we had a class. Y'all would have loved it. 20th century history, and it just, of course, the teacher was a huge Vietnam person, so he really concentrated. We went through some of the times like really fast, like the 20s probably, and then he really concentrated on Vietnam and some of the TV shows that he got us hooked on. I like to go and watch them whenever I can find them
Like
online.
MASH or something like Korea.
Well, MASH is one, but it was one, and I can't think of the name, but it was so good because it didn't just put us winning all the time, because that's definitely not what happened,
Right.
So it showed everything, like the bad part, and that the different things we had to overcome and everything. And I can't remember. I'll remember by the end of the time. But PE was always a favorite of mine. That's why I ended up majoring in it. But that's probably. I remember teachers more than I do the subjects, to tell you the truth.
Definitely.
You mentioned your golf coach. He was also your teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Was that dynamic? Did you enjoy that? Having
Yeah. So my senior year, I played golf and soccer, and I was one of those. Y'all probably had classmates. You may have been one of these too, that felt like you had to work so you could have a car and stuff, because my parents made me be responsible for some of that.
Yeah.
There's no way I did all of it, but responsible for some of it. So I ended up having to choose one sport over the other. But the beginning of my last semester of high school, I had knee surgery, so soccer was definitely out. And then I got mono. And I was in Q's class, which is my golf coach. And I was not a B student. All right. I was definitely not a straight A student. And I remember the last 6 weeks, I come back for the exam review. I missed I was homebound the whole time. And Q always liked to call us by our last name. And he looked at my report card, and we were in middle of exam review. Shoot, Harris, if you would have been doing this your whole high school career, you'd be going to Harvard. Q laid back, but he taught. I still remember some of the stories, like he would make like some of the things that happened in history with Prohibition, stuff like that. He would actually draw like a Coors Light truck on the board and really make it kind of modern days type thing. And I still remember it. I mean, it's 30 some years ago.
Me and Ethan kind of had the same experience with Coach Montgomery.
Mhm.
He coached cross country track and
Yeah.
taught his
Government.
class. So that
Yeah.
it was kind of strange because
Mhm.
he put him in that typeset, and you see him in class. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, for years
Definitely.
beforehand, and then you have him as a teacher. It's like,
Yeah,
oh.
it was strange, but I enjoyed it. So you started school in Franklin, Virginia, right?
Southampton County.
Southampton
Yep.
County. What age did you move to? You said Danville?
So a little elementary school called Ivor Elementary School. And I think I was in 3rd grade when I moved. No, I'm sorry. Yes, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Middle of 3rd grade. So it was February 1st of my 3rd grade year. And thankfully that was the only, because a lot of preachers, they move
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Dad was very blessed, or we were very blessed to be at few churches in those 48 years.
Yeah.
He ended up at 4 churches, but 2 of them were towards the tail end of his career. I remember, coming to a new school, just learning, getting that new friend group and everything. So it was crazy. But in moving from a country school to a inner city school,
It's a big difference.
Danville's not huge, but it's definitely
bigger than-
different than what I came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You mentioned you worked in high school. What was your first job?
So my first job. So do you want the first job that I actually pay taxes on, or?
Either. We can do both.
We can do both.
So my first ever job that I actually got paid for, besides shoveling snow during winters, was at a private tennis court in Danville that was clay tennis courts.
Wow, okay.
So I raked them in the mid-afternoon.
You have to spray them too.
I think they had sprinklers for that. No, we might have. I think we did have to spray them. But I remember raking and then doing the lines with the little thing. It was cool because not everybody got to play on a clay tennis court.
I don't know of many around here.
But it hot. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. And I got paid cash. Like my first ever real job that I paid taxes on was Food Line, and it was a really cool time because Primetime Live, the 2020 Primetime Live on TV, they did a segment on Food Line when I worked for them about Food Line like Clorox in their meat.
Oh.
And accused them of it, all this stuff. So Food Line, of course, sent out VHS tapes. Yes, that dates me a little bit. And so we got to see the Food Line side of the story. And so speaking of history, my U.S. history teacher that let me bring the tape in and show the class, and he actually kept it for all his other, we did 7 blocks or periods. Yeah. And no, I'm sorry, 6 periods. So he had 5 other classes. Yeah. But Food Line, I worked there through most of the way through college, because they would let me leave and come back. And I did transfer to the Food Line in Bluefield for a little bit when I was up there, but I'd much rather have been a student on campus and work study instead of doing Food Line.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. So you mentioned you played soccer and golf. Did you play any other sports in high school?
So one of the first things I learned when I moved was my address. And my mom said it was the worst thing that she ever taught me was how to write my address, because I signed up. One summer I did swimming.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go.
I did co-ed softball. I did baseball, tennis league, and then that was all in one summer. Wow. So she finally told me, she said, you cannot sign your name again unless I'm present. Because we had people that actually walked the streets, because back then we were in the streets playing.
Yeah.
We had our neighborhoods, and basically you've probably heard of this before. We came home when the street lights came on. Type thing. We would ride our bikes. We would check in and leave it on the answer machine. Hey, we're over at such and such. And they really never worried about us. It was a totally different time. Now, I thank God for Life 360 every day. you know, not only to keep track of where the girls are, but now my mom and dad, I have them on Life 360. Just, you know, it's just the technology and the times are definitely different. But so yeah, I played all kinds of different sports, but soccer and golf were always, and probably more golf than soccer. I actually thought about even going pro at one time, but then I started working at Food Line and my handicap went through the roof. So.
You went to school in Bluefield
Yep.
College at the
Yep,
time.
Bluefield College.
Now university.
And yep, now Bluefield University.
Yeah. Did you always know you wanted to end up there, or how did that happen?
So the funny thing there is everybody I went to school with, I graduated with 400, almost 500 people.
Wow.
Okay. And my friend group, I was about the only one that wanted to stay in Danville.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Averett, wanted to stay there, and I was about the only one that left Danville at the time. You know, so it was really weird how that happened.
Yeah.
A lot of them have left since, but it was. So I went to Bluefield, the only one I applied to. Ended up going to look at it. You know, that was the summer or spring of '94. And fell in love with it, and yeah, I fell in love with it so much I spent 5 years there, you know, and just had a BS to show for it, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Hey. And you did PE there?
So I didn't go originally for that. I went for history, and then figured out how many papers I'd have to write, and switched very fast. And actually switched to be an athletic trainer.
Oh, yeah.
And then after 1 year, figured out that, one, I always wanted to coach.
Yeah.
Always wanted to coach. So one thing I was really wrestling with was if I'm an athletic trainer and my star player from an athletic trainer standpoint needs to sit out, but from a coaching standpoint, I'm like, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Let's throw them in there. You know, am I going to be able to do that? You know,
Yeah.
and then my grades weren't the greatest my first year. I actually, after the first year, I was not eligible sports after that because I only had 13 credit hours because I failed biology, failed college math. It's the first time I ever came close to failing anything.
Yeah.
Just because it was just one of those transition things, and it was more of somebody knocks at my door and says, "Hey, you want to play rook? You want to go?" I mean, I didn't party. You know, I might have went a few places here and there, but I was not a partier. I was more of hanging out, playing cards, playing pool, playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So I'm really aging myself now. Tecmo Bowl, you know, things like that. Getting Bo Jackson to run through everybody, you know. And it was after the first year, if I did not have, and I tell my kids this all the time, and they laugh at me, but they also hopefully will take something from it. If I didn't have college swimming and gymnastics, I would not have had an over a 2.0 my first year there.
So you swam and did gymnastics?
No, it was a class.
Oh, I see.
Because I was a PE major, so you had, you know, those.
Yeah, you have to do those.
So a really funny story, being a preacher's kid, my first semester I had New Testament. Did not look at the Bible as a history book at all, okay, until after this. I got a D in New Testament, okay? And in athletic training, you can't get a D or anything worse than that. Really, you can't have a C. You have to take them over. Well, I come home for Christmas, and my mom and dad got me a Bible for Christmas. And I looked at them, and I said, "Don't you think it's a little late for this?"
Yeah.
But it really made me, because I was thinking of Sunday school. Been in Sunday school all my life. I'll get an A. Won't even have to worry about it, you know. And my New Testament teacher actually looked like Jim Carrey, so it was really funny watching him, you know, try to teach us the New Testament and everything. But yeah, that's. But from there on, I did finish with I want to say it was a 3.2.
Yeah. Hey.
So really
Got it up there.
turned it around after I became a physical education teacher. Even though we're taking pretty much the same classes as an athletic trainer, but I got to coach my first team after my freshman year up in Bluefield. I stayed for the summer. It was a travel soccer team. And first ever game that I coached actually ended in a fight. Like, what a way to start a career.
Yeah.
My team was up like 5-1, and the kid told me at halftime, he said, they're pushing me around. I'm like, you're going to have to get over it because we're going to go to Governor's Cup. This is in West Virginia. And there's going to be kids that are going to push and do a lot worse. And, well, he didn't get over it. By the end of the game, he was ready to fight. And so, but yeah, and I ended up doing a lot of internships with the soccer teams. My college career kind of ended there, but I did a lot of work study with the soccer team, and I think that's where I learned a lot of what I've tried to put into play.
Yeah, and you ref soccer now a lot. Or is
Yes.
officiate, ref,
Yeah,
is that the correct
referee
word?
or officiate. Yeah, that there's a shortage in all sports.
Yeah.
And
It's a thankless job.
and it's becoming a major issue if we want to keep sports the way it is now. So I feel like my calling now is to bring that next generation up. And we've been able to do a lot this past Rush, the local travel soccer team. It's based out of Radford. They hired me as their ref coordinator. And so a part of that is education of the new ones, and also try to help bring in more younger people, and hopefully they'll like it and they'll learn
Continue doing
and
it.
keep going. So we had a group this year of about 10 that is my first group that I've really from day one have started helping. There's some in this group, Kendall Lamas from Galax, from here, Landon Puckett, Callie, Carmen were already in this. And I'm missing some. I should not have started naming them because now I'm going to miss somebody and somebody's going to fuss at me. But the rec league here has helped us big time. We had a business person give us each one of our kids a referee kit, top, shorts, socks, whistle. It was about $90 some to $100 and some worth of equipment. So the kids have really, and they did a great job. We had a new soccer league this year that hasn't happened since before COVID, and the referees we're all going to make mistakes, but they all learned and they all did a great job. And I'm doing 3 fields now. I'm doing Floyd, Woodlawn, and Abingdon.
Wow.
And some, I don't do that field as much now. I just train the referees that do, help train the referees that do that. And then some are older than me that have been in it longer than I have. But I was certified, my first time getting certified I was 14.
Okay, yeah. So what's that process like? Is it videos now, or is it just word of mouth?
So it's a lot
Experience
easier
with
than
the
what it
game?
was.
Yeah.
Back when I first got it was a 2.5-day in-person class.
Yeah.
Now it's a 4-hour in-person and about 8 to 10 hours on the internet.
Yeah.
On U.S. Soccer website, and also the Metro DC, which is the reffing association we, like anybody around here, would be a part of. I've been blessed to meet some assigners from outside this area. Work for one in Winston a lot for tournaments down there, and they have some tremendous referees that come around, and they don't referee, but like in those tournaments, but they watch you, and like halftime, hey, what'd you see on this? What'd you see on this? Making you think a little more about it. And
Ref from the refs.
yeah, basically. And Callie and I stopped from coming back from a tournament in Cary, and I'm a big Tar Heel fan.
Yep.
And sorry, the rest of my family are Duke fans.
There we
go. We all can't be perfect. So we went. Tech was playing UNC women, and Callie and I were coming back from the tournament. It was on a Sunday night, and we just let's go watch the game.
Yeah.
And we went. First time I'd ever been on the campus. As much as a Carolina fan as I am, I've been to Cameron Indoor Stadium 4 times. I have not been to the Dino
There we
one
go.
time.
Yeah, that's the right choice to make.
Well, we had fun. But the cool thing was when the referees come out, the AR2, which is the one on the other side of the teams, was Aaron, one of the guys that had been training me at these tournaments. And I was like, this is so cool. So now I've gotten to the point where I actually watch the referees, especially in the high level, more than I do the match.
Yeah.
So but it's so much fun going to an ACC. Went to a Tech game, and one of my buddies that I actually played with in college, he was the AR on the side of the in Tech field. It's only one side where the fans sit, and the Tech fans are right up against the fence, like the rowdy ones.
Yeah.
And so at half, I was like, and I was using his name, and I was like, sir, and I was saying his name, and he wouldn't turn around. No, actually, I said, hey, sir, turn around. I didn't use his name. And I said, look, if you don't turn around, I will tell every single person your name. And he turned around. It was really cool. But we do Virginia High School League together. And
Is that the one? So we were at a game and you texted one of the refs and you said, "Watch, I bet he'll look at his phone." Was that
no,
him?
that was not him. He will never name. He will be nameless. He was actually from Galax.
Okay.
But that's the funny thing is when I'm in the stands, because almost all the referees I've worked with, and I know them on a personal level, and it was so funny. Kendall, do y'all know Kendall from Galax?
I do.
Is that-
Yeah, Kendall. Yeah, I know his parents.
Okay, Nicole, she was a special ed teacher in
Cesar.
Carroll, and Cesar.
Yeah.
So I was doing one of their playoff games, and I was at AR, and it was a very close play. VAR may have changed it a little bit if we had VAR. We don't.
Yeah.
And it's so funny at halftime. He's one of my certified officials, and he kind of looked at me. He was like, and had that smirk. He said, "I'm gonna send you the film on that one." He never did send it to me, but that's where I'm getting to with some of these new officials, and I love it. I'll come home from a game, and I'll have. For example, I came home from Grayson. Before I got to Galax, I'd heard from 3 different people from 3 different games, hey, I need you to look at this. Hey, I want you to look at this. Tell me what you think about this.
Yeah.
And I tell them, look, when we're on that field, high school league down, you don't have VAR.
Right.
It's a split second. You've got to make a decision. Somebody's going to be mad and somebody's going to be happy.
Yeah.
I said, but if you want to talk about this, and let's talk about why it could have been this way or this way. I'm not talking about the officials at all. I'm talking about the play, and learn from it. We'll do it all day long, So and I really feel like it's a calling. And I had a call the other day from PH Glade Springs, and they have 6 or 7 kids that want to become certified. So
I'm sure being a spectator is interesting for you too, because it seemed like I wouldn't have caught it like that,
Yeah.
or been picky with it.
We were at a game. It was one of the last home games of the season, and something had happened. Maybe it was at Radford. It was at Radford, and Alexis Sheffy had caught the ball, and they kicked it out of her hands. And you were vocal about your disapproval. It was interesting.
Yeah, Adrian, my oldest, is the head coach,
Yeah.
and she got a yellow card on that play.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's where the dad kicked in. And I said, well, she's right, top of my lungs, of course. And there was I've tried my best, and people that know me, I have definitely calmed down a lot in the stands, because referees, umpires, everybody takes a lot of crap for very little bit of money. And it's a job that not a lot of people want to do, but it's a job that has to be done if we want to have, games. And it's becoming. I mean, you just look on YouTube. You look on the news. I had one the other day I was watching, and it was a soccer club president that was coaching. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
No. And it was towards where he would be standing on the sideline. his daughter was playing on a boys' team that he elected to let her do. All right. Boy took her out. Wasn't really that bad of a play. But I guess the dad thing kicked in.
Yeah.
He came out on the field and pushed the player that pushed his daughter. And then the two coaches go at each other. Of course, the referee's kicking him out, and he wants to go after the referee.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all kinds of stories. I've heard guns being pulled. You know, and I'm like, it's just
a
people
game.
gonna have to get a grip.
I've seen people do it at like little league games. And
Yeah.
even below that, parents get into fights. But I'm sure people take your opinion more seriously than others, right?
Yeah.
Based on your experience of being a ref,
Um,
when you're a spectator.
If they know me.
Yeah.
If they know me. There's a lot, and Ethan, you probably picked up on this at the games. A lot of times if like a play was kind of, they didn't think it should have been called that, they would always look at me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And my wife will say one thing, and I'm like, well, no, that was actually a good call. You know, you know, things like that. I think if they know me, you know, I had a parent from a school, neighboring school, middle school, and I had two young ARs, Savannah and Callie were my ARs, and the guy just wouldn't be quiet. And I finally, it was a middle school game, and I finally blew the whistle, started walking towards him. I didn't know who it was, and the guy stood up and said, "I'm gonna kick myself out." And before I could think about it, I said, "Best decision you've made all day." And then I told him, "And if you would like to help us, I have an extra whistle." And of course, his comeback was, "Well, the whistle you have doesn't work, so maybe you need to try the second one." So, you know, it's just, I think if people would just stay calm, and I need to do this too sometimes. Maybe count to 3. Think about what it is before, because I mean everybody's gonna miss stuff, and VAR has been the best thing for sports, but the worst thing for sports because they expect everything to be perfectly called. Because at the professional level, what happens if it's wrong?
Money.
You challenge it, and you get it reversed, right?
Oh yeah.
So, or somebody rings down to the head center ref and say, "Hey, we need to look at this some more," and they change it. Can't do that at high school. You still got the video though,
Right.
and people love.
Yeah. End up on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to look back to your college days, you mentioned how your first year academically was more challenging for you. You said you ended up getting a pretty good GPA towards the end of your college career. What was that second year like, and how did your studies different than your first year?
Make that
Your
adjustment.
approach to it.
Yeah.
So second year, well, the cool thing about second year, I was taking some classes over the second time, so it was a little bit easier.
Sure.
To take out. But also, some of it was not taking psychology at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about when my best time to learn is.
Right.
Not everybody's an 8 o'clock person. Also got into, like, I had some close friends that would help. I hated writing papers. So I had people that I would write it and they would basically read it for me for free.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even think twice about it. And they would help me, you know, sometimes they would just correct it for me. But a lot of times I tried my best to say, "Hey, why are you doing that?" You know, try to learn.
Yeah.
But I also think making that switch to physical education and health was God's path for me. So a lot of things became a little clearer. You know, a lot of times you think you're in the path that you're supposed to be on, but there's things that are changing that, you know. And then when you figure it out and you start going down the right path, it just becomes easier. And I swear I think that's what happened. You know, I wasn't playing sports, so I didn't have all that time in there. Was hanging out with the teams a lot because I wanted to learn more. Going from playing free golf to having to pay for it was not my cup of tea. So I wanted to stay close to the golf team too because I wanted to play golf. But yeah, I just think it was just maturity. I've always, and you guys, I think both of you did this program, but where you graduated from WCC before,
Yes.
which is a great program, but if I would have gone in as an 18-year-old doing my education classes, I would have flunked out.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because up at Tech, all my classmates are 21 years
Yeah.
old. So I don't know anybody, and most of them know each other. So socially, it's a little bit off too.
Yeah.
And there's no general ed classes, all major courses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of getting like, here you go. So you don't really have that wiggle room to, like you did, change your major.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to know what you want to do.
Yeah.
So it saves a lot of money, but I guess when get what you're saying, it
Oh,
must
yeah.
be a luxury to be able to kind of experiment. Maybe I want to do this, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't apply. None of my credits transfer, so I'm starting from scratch.
Oh,
So
gosh.
it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to have that freedom to do what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at 19 years old, you've got to college in 9 months. What are you going to do? So
Yeah.
that's a big thing. But you said 5 years at
Mhm.
Bluefield.
Yep.
Did you think about going on after to get a master's degree in education?
No. At first, no.
Yeah.
Okay. When I graduated from Bluefield, I had my BS in PE and health, pre-K through 12. Passed my praxis. I'm not a test taker. Passed it the first time.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm sorry. My major part of the praxis. I did not pass my writing and reading the first time. I had to wait for the governor to change the laws where we could, like my math was so high, I could take points and give it to my math and my
Interesting.
reading. I'm sorry, my reading and my writing.
Yeah.
And that's when I finally passed that. So when I graduated from Bluefield, that was when all the school shootings were happening.
Yeah.
To start with, the major ones, Columbine, different ones like that. I did not go into education to start with. I started working at Lowe's in Princeton. My wife was working, which we met at Bluefield. She's from Fancy Gap.
Okay.
That's how we ended up back here.
What year
But
did you meet her?
get me in trouble here. No, it was my third year because I was at Newhall. So it was December 96 is when we started dating. Proposed to her in December of 97, and we were married in May of 99.
And how did y'all meet?
She played basketball. She actually played for Coach Mayo here at Carroll,
okay.
the first stint that he had. Coach Mayo is one of our family. I call him a hero. He's one of my favorites. And definitely, one of the old school favorites. My wife, when she was in college, she came through Coach Mayo's. She was on the first ever team that he varsity coached at Carroll, and they were number 8 going into the district tournament. Beat the number 1 Blacksburg. And it was quite a few different people. You probably know Paula, Ethan's, Ethan's mom they were teammates. Of course, Sheila, her sister was on that team, and quite a few different people that are in this community still. So we met. I did the play-by-play on the radio for all of the girls' basketball games. And so I just asked her out one day, and she said yes. So
It worked out.
This is history.
yeah. And she also, her and another person started FCA at Bluefield, or brought it back.
Yeah.
And I was involved with FCA too, so we kind of knew each other. And then we were both PE majors.
Yeah.
When we interviewed, so I worked for Lowe's, she worked for Princeton Wellness Center, and then summer of 2001, we got a call saying that, and I was at Bluefield State College at the time. I was an adjunct professor and intramural director there, and I was the swim teacher or professor for the college, did college swim. And we interviewed for the job we were sitting beside each other in front of Dr. Edwards and the Gladesboro principal at the time. and trying to sell ourselves as the person that needed this job. And I'm sitting beside my spouse saying, I'm the one for the job, you know. She got the job. God knew that she wasn't going to do anything but PE. And she got PE and health, and she's been with Carol since. I called them after she got the job, and I talked to Leonard, the personnel director, and I said, I'll do whatever it takes. I just want to be in the same county as my wife. We want to bring our family up. Adrian was like 6 months old at the time, something like that. And they're like, oh, no, maybe a year. But they said, can you coach golf? And I was like, well, I just coached the Bluefield High School team to the state tournament. I didn't tell them we finished last, but we made it to the state tournament.
Hey, there we go.
And they're like, well, can you come down for an interview? Went for an interview. Strader Blankenship was principal at the time. I still remember the interview, and it was first special ed. I must have been asleep during my education classes when we talked about special ed. I didn't know what an IEP was. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. All I remember him saying at the end of the interview was, you're not qualified for this job, but you're probably going to get it because you can coach golf. And I got a call the next day.
You got it.
Got it. Got here. Thought it was going to be temporary, get a PE job, but 18 years later, I was still coaching or teaching special ed. Mm-hmm. My last 10 were in the classroom that Brittany Kinney's in now.
Okay.
That's
So
my
you're
old
at the high
classroom.
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at the high school for pretty much the whole time. There was one year when Obama had his package that he came up with. We had to get creative with some of the funding that we got from that. Mm-hmm. And I was the adaptive PE teacher for the whole county. So I was at 4 schools instead of 1. Okay. But high school was always my home school, all 18 years. So funny thing is that same classroom, ever since 2013, has had a girls soccer coach.
That's right, yeah.
In that.
It was Miss Kinney's helping, yeah.
It was me, then it was Matthew Kirby, then it was Tickle, and now it's Brittany. So it's like, if she ever leaves, whoever takes that spot needs to just go ahead and sign up for soccer because they're right there with it. Yeah.
So what was that adjustment like? You said you weren't real familiar with how special education worked. Did you take some extra classes on the side to figure out read books?
Yeah, so I went back to school. I was not a huge fan of doing that, but I had to. I was supposed to have 3 years to get my certification in special ed. At the time, it was either LD, ED, or MR, and of course, MR is not used anymore. And I went just for LD because I did not want to. I just didn't want to do the other 2 at the time. And so Adrian was born in 99. In 2002, we had a son that we lost 11 days after he was born. And that was in that 3-year span that I had to get my special ed certification. So they extended it some. So it took me probably 4 years. And that's where I almost went and got my master's, but I was like, I'm not. I was busy coaching. I was, doing 2 sports the first 2 years and trying to get the certification done. So I was just like, nah, just get the certification. Yeah. And
what school was that certification at?
ODU.
Okay.
Through Whitfield.
Oh, yeah, because they had a satellite campus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we had to go, that was before Crossroads. Right. So we actually went to a couple days a week. Had the best professors, always over the TV. It was a husband and wife that did most of the classes. I learned so much from those CJ, and can't think of CJ's wife's name now, but they were awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got to interview Ben Tickle.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting to hear him talk about it, just his experience with it too.
Yeah.
I think he got a doctorate.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. But Tickle and I got to actually teach together for 1 year.
Okay.
So we had and that was awesome. I mean, it was an awesome year because we had the community-based program where our kids went out to the community and worked in different settings. Yeah. That was my favorite by far. The last 10 years, that's the classroom I was in. And it was just that was my safe zone. That was my area that, I could be out for a couple of days and come back. I felt like I'm a movie star.
Yeah.
Hugs and coach, we've missed you. And it was really cool. I probably, it was getting not only them to do things that they didn't think they could do, but showing their parents that they can do stuff. Sure. That set the expectation, give them some ways to get there. I always say that anybody that has any kind of disability, all it is a hurdle that you have to get over, and the hurdle's a little higher than some other people's hurdle. Right. There's an obstacle there. You got to help them get over that obstacle, and they can achieve about anything. So,
yeah, this year we've started a recycling program at the high school. They've helped out with collecting everything, and they help sweep the halls. They do a lot throughout the school just to help people out.
Yeah. So we used to do that. We had a recycling program at one time, but I think during COVID, it kind of destroyed all of that. But my kids would help with that. We would help with inventory in the concession stands, basketball and the football. We would go and stock them. We would go and count the drinks when they deliver them because of math, sorting things, all of that. And then, of course, the Athletic Association would let my kids have a drink here and there or whatever, as a reward. But it was all stuff that ended up, I've got one student that was in that program. You guys know, I won't say names now, but, he's full-time at the middle school, and doing amazing. Yeah. Too bad he's a Redskin fan, but but
Everyone has their flaws. Right?
Yep.
So nowadays you work in insurance.
I do.
How did that career transition happen?
So my last year teaching, my wife and I bought a rainbow vacuum cleaner, and it was our second one during our marriage. We bought one beginning of our marriage, and then one 2018. Jake Beamer sold it to me. If y'all know the Beamers, Jake and Angie. And so I went in to get mine for free because I'm very competitive and I like free. Yeah. So I was like, let's do this. And I started doing really well with it. By the time that school year was over, I was making more selling rainbow vacuum cleaners part-time than I was teaching. Wow. Like double.
Yeah.
So I went in, I just declared, I was like, look, some things, like I said earlier, there's times where God wants you to take a different path, but you're so comfortable with the path you're on. He has to put people in front of you that makes it uncomfortable sometimes. And that's, without going into a lot of it, that's what happened. And I went into selling rainbows. We opened up an office. Jake and Angie did. I helped them here in Woodlawn. And then Tommy Neff, the one that owned this agency forever, called me. He had been diagnosed with cancer. Called me and asked me if I would meet with the new owner. And I told him, out of respect for him, I would. He was my agent for 20 some years. And I was made an offer that I couldn't refuse. And I was like, well, let's try it. Might be what God wants me to do, and also after I left, I went into FCA for a little bit, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I think that was more to open my eyes of what local missionaries have to do. You always hear about foreign missionaries, our support Easter, the Lottie Moon offering, things like that at church. But you never think about local, and then my dad's been a minister for almost 48 years now, and he didn't have to worry about that fundraising or the support. It was always a guaranteed paycheck. So it really taught me a lot. God used that to show me, hey, look, these people need some support. So I do a lot. I try to do a lot with FCA. I haven't lately. It's more financial. Get on somebody's financial team even if it's $25 a month. You're helping support someone to get God's word into the schools. So
Definitely, yeah. When I was in elementary school, FCA bought us all Bibles and gave them to us. Come take them home and
yep,
read them. So yeah.
because you were at
Gladesboro.
Gladesboro.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know they're doing it at Gladeville now.
Yep.
My sister's there.
Yeah, a lot of elementary schools.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and then in middle school it's very strong too.
Yeah.
And then in high school it's pretty large as well. So.
I know one time the middle school had the largest
Mhm.
in the county, correct?
It's probably the largest in the
Still.
state if they really wanted to really look at the numbers, because it's a great. Joy Sasser's the one that started that, and Joy did an awesome job. I actually found I was going through a bunch of my old stuff, and Joy, when she retired, gave me 2 scrapbooks of one was 2008 and one was I think 2011. And just looking back through those kids, I had them in high school too, looking at the middle school years, all the stuff they did, all the events, see at the pole, the Last Supper. They would always walk down to the VFW, and they would have the Last Supper. It's basically celebrating, that last group that was getting ready to leave to go to the high school. Yeah, FCA is the high school. We were in the band room when I was actually the director of it. At Howard Mayo was the director when I first got there, and when he left and went to North Carolina, he asked me to take it over, which is a big honor too. Just trying to fill his footsteps there. And we went from the band room to the auditorium, and at one point in time, we were over 100 every Wednesday.
Sizable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in middle school, I'd walk into not the cafeteria, in the gym,
Yeah.
and the whole bleacher would be full, hundreds
Yeah.
of kids.
Yeah.
It's big for sure, made an impact.
Definitely.
They had some good speakers come in too. I remember some people I know from personal life come in and talk. They're just really neat. They had great stories. They were pretty candid about their lives to these kids. And I still remember what they're 6-7 years later.
Yeah,
So,
Craig, Jessica, and Bailey came in too, played music.
yeah. So most definitely had an impact. But yeah, that's
I
really
remember a Cowboys chaplain came in one year, or he was the chaplain at one point in time. Yeah, that was really cool, especially with me being a Cowboys fan. So.
yeah.
That's it. Last year, Dr. Tickle got in contact with an Olympian, Bridget, I think Williams is her last name. I think she was married, may or may not be her last name anymore. But she came and spoke.
Fields of Faith.
Fields of Faith, that was right.
Yep.
That was a really good event. I really enjoyed that.
And it's crazy, some Fields of Faith in like Georgia, near Chick-fil-A's home headquarters. I think it's in Atlanta or near Atlanta, somewhere around in there. Yeah. They have thousands of kids that come, and Chick-fil-A just does the whole event, and everything. And it's amazing what Fields of Faith, and the way it's happened here. It's not just Carroll, the surrounding high schools come to it too. So.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you're a father too.
Yep.
That's obviously a big part of your life. You have 3 kids. How has your outlook on parenting and being a father developed as you've gotten older?
Well, it's funny because when I was younger, being a preacher's kid, everybody thought it was their job to make sure that I behaved. I hated it then.
Yeah.
Now I think it's the coolest thing in the world when somebody comes up to me at Food Line or Walmart and says, "Hey, I caught your daughter doing this good," or whatever. I've been very blessed. All 3 of my girls are not troublemakers. They're still, and 2 of them are teenagers still, and so I haven't really, I always kid around and tell them the gray hair in my hair is definitely from them, but it's definitely changed. I go from resenting, I always say it's a community that raises a kid, and it's good support at home, church, and school, or community. And if you don't have one of those, it's harder to raise a kid and raise them right. But also been very blessed. All my kids have just had their head screwed on right. I don't know. I think I'm blessed. I don't think I hit any magic button to make it all happen.
Yeah.
But just overall, we got a great community here. We've got a great school system, and we've got our negatives, but we've got a great school system, and we've got just a great support here in this county and surrounding areas. You know, I was not from here, but when Joel passed away in 2002, you know, the community came together, especially when he was still in the hospital, and we were brand new teachers. So we didn't have many days saved up, and the community just the benefits that I've witnessed over the years. Joel's benefit, you know, when Chuck Thompson was going through his stuff, and you know, some of the other benefits that I've witnessed through the years. It's just amazing, just the love that this community has for people in general, and it doesn't matter who it is.
Stick together.
Yep. So I think the biggest blessing of the whole thing is just where my wife and I have decided to raise our kids. It's just amazing. Just the area is just flat out amazing.
So you got to work with your wife, and you got to be in the same school as your kids. What was that experience like?
We actually shared a gym for a year.
Oh yeah.
So having the whole family under one roof, was that?
We didn't think we were going to survive that year. We thought we would kill each other by the end of the year, but it actually, it was really cool watching her in her element, because her true calling is the elementary level. I mean, she's at the high school now, but the things that they did at the elementary, it was totally amazing. She started at Fancy Gap in Gladesboro, and then went to Hillsville, and she was at the middle school some, and then the high school. And then, you know, I was there the whole time Adrian was at high school. I left when she graduated. Sheila came in we were on summer vacation, and she gets a call and says, "Hey, we're moving you to the high school." And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
So she's been there the whole time. Natalie was in now Cali.
Yeah.
So it's really cool I don't know if they think it's cool, but man, Sheila thought it's pretty cool that we're just right down the hall if they need us, type thing. I know I always kid around with my girls, hey, if you start seeing somebody, I better know who they are, because I already, and if they're a Carroll student, I will do my research, but it's just it's been an amazing journey, the 18 years that I was blessed to be a part of Carroll County Schools. Still feel like I'm a part of it just because Adrian's starting to coach. My wife's still teaching there, and then Adrian started her kindergarten career this year, and so she got to see 17 babies grow up in front of her this year, and then also coach the varsity team this year. So it's
full
been a
circle
great year.
moment.
Oh, definitely.
On that note, if your kids are listening to this episode in 50 years, what would you want to tell them?
Come get me out of the home. No, I'm just kidding. 50 years from now. Ooh. Just keep family close. Keep your eyes on God. And just know that we live in the best area ever. And that hopefully, they will still be here. As far as I know, I think all three of them want to stay here. You never know where God's going to put them. But hopefully in 50 years, they'll remember some of the things that my wife and I have tried to teach them. And hopefully they're teaching their kids and their grandkids. Maybe great kids by then, but yeah, just keep your eyes on God and just know that the community's here to help. You just got to ask people.
Who's your best friend?
Who's my best friend? Wow. Don't get to see him a lot now. We used to teach together, but Ryan Newberry.
Yeah.
He's
Gladesboro principal.
Yeah. We were, I was his inclusion teacher at the high school. And then he went to the Ray Center, and then I quit teaching. So we haven't really got to see each other as much anymore, but we still communicate a lot. I'll still, whenever UVA loses, I'll still text him or whatever. And
It's quite frequent that happens.
right. I'd say Ryan. I spend so much time, I think, and it's an okay thing. I'm not complaining about it. Spend so much time with my kids that I haven't really built those relationships as much as I used to, just because I'm blessed to be in a job that allow me to leave at 3:00 to be at Allegheny by 5:30. I'm blessed to be there. Now, crazy driving all that way sometimes on 81 is a different story. But yeah, it's just, it's a lot of people in my life I would say are close friends, but Ryan and I have really, I'd say Ryan. Yeah.
You've discussed your faith extensively in this episode. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of religion and Christianity in your and your family's life?
Yeah, I mean, it's the center. It's my wife and I were youth pastors. Like when Adrian was born, my wife was working at Princeton Fitness Center, and we were wanting her to stay home with Adrian. Mm-hmm. This is before we became teachers. And I had two, even though I was Baptist all my life, I had two Methodist churches call me, and I wasn't even asking, for a job or anything. And I had two call me within 24 hours of each other saying, "Hey, we need a youth pastor. Would you be interested?" Okay. So I was a youth pastor back in college during the summer to help, pay for, to give me something to do during the summer, worthwhile doing. But I also, was using it for money for college, things like that. So we got two calls, got one of the jobs, made just enough to allow Sheila to stay at home for a while until we got the teaching jobs. And then we were youth pastors at Rocky Gap United Methodist, and then when we moved here, it was West Galax, the one at the blinking light, going like you're going out of Galax. Yeah. So the funny thing is the same pastor. So right after he hired us in Rocky Gap, he came to West Galax, Joe Carrico. And I had appendicitis that first Christmas of my first year teaching. So I was laid up in Galax, and we were still going back and forth to Rocky Gap. And he come in, he's like, "I'm pastor right down here. Don't want to steal you away from Rocky Gap, but we would really love if you guys would come and be." I said, "Yeah, you wait until I'm on, surgery, and I can't get anywhere. You come and ask me that question." But that's when we ended up there. I think it was like 2002, I think. And then we were there until, like when the bubble busted in 2009, and what do churches do? When they have to cut budget, what's the first thing they cut?
Youth pastors.
Youth.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. But, that was when we ended up going to Skyview. Okay. And we've been at Skyview ever since. Help out. We've never been in a paying position there, but it's we're not there every time the doors open, because all travel, sports, things like that. But we keep it centered. Mm-hmm. We try to, at least. So it's very important.
Absolutely.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, we have a couple of questions that we like to ask every guest. And I'll go first. What advice would you have to someone that's considering a career in education?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, we need good teachers. We need teachers. We need teachers that care. Mm-hmm. We need teachers that have the energy. We need teachers that it's not easy. not easy at all. But it's also a lot of fun, a lot of rewards in it. I would not trade the 18 years that I had at the high school or in the county for anything. I don't resent leaving, but I don't. Those 18 years were very special.
Yeah.
So get your goal, go after it. If you want to teach middle school, God bless you. That was not my tea at all.
That's a tough age group.
It either have to be high school or elementary for me.
Yeah.
I always told everybody elementary teachers should get 2 years credit for every year they teach, just because
Like a judge.
they are the bomb. I mean, they really are. I mean, especially in the special ed part of it, because a lot of the behaviors they deal with, by the time they get to the high school, I don't have to deal with it
Right.
because they're so good
Yeah.
at it. And I could start naming names, but I know I'll leave some out. But yeah, I mean, if they want to go into education, by all means, do it. Yes, you get your summers off, but you need that to recoup for the 10 months that are coming up.
Yeah.
So
Certainly.
I have 2 questions as we finish up. The first one is, what's your advice to young people making their way in the world?
network.
Yeah.
Everything's about networking. So I'm in sales. Of course, networking there. You ask for referrals, things like that. But everything in life, network. When it comes to FCA, when I've been in charge this year, we're not doing one, unfortunately, but we've been doing soccer all-star games every year. Unfortunately, we did not get to do one this year, but you can't do that without networking, without knowing people, and reaching out to those people and saying, hey, we need help doing this. We need to get this done. And it doesn't matter if you're in education, religion, engineering. You mentioned public. What was it? Administration.
Yeah, definitely there.
You've got to network. From people that are doing it maybe in the county beside you, or in insurance. To take what I do right now. If I get into a bad or a month that I'm not doing great at, I've got a few people I know that have been in this for a while. I'll call them up, say, look, got to refocus. But that networking gets you back on track, can help you get to the next level of whatever you're doing. But networking, that would be my biggest thing, is teaching people how to network.
That's what we've really learned with the podcast.
Yeah.
Just get out and meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
And we've interviewed almost 100 people. That's 100 different people on the street you can get to say hi to, recognize.
Yeah.
And it's just building that network of people has been a great experience, I think. For one, getting to know your town.
Yeah, definitely.
Being more comfortable in it. But also being able to, if you're looking for an internship or a job, say, hey, I'm interested in this. And it's kind of just, it's a lot easier that way. So I think that's great advice.
Yeah, Jerry's really good at it too.
Yeah.
Jerry Carter's really good at the
It's
networking.
another one you've had him on a few times by yourself.
Twice, yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
So.
And I enjoyed the panel that you did
That was awesome.
because that was some of my favorite people in that panel.
Stressful, but it was cool.
Dr. McBride is the only male I've ever hugged at Walmart after he retired. I begged him to come back as our superintendent, but Dr. McBride was the one that hired both me and Sheila. I had his kids on his one of his sons on the golf team, and then of course Jerry, and then Miss Dalton. Miss Dalton and I are, a lot of people don't know this, but we're the president and vice president of the 8:15 club. So we were always supposed to be there at 8 or 7:45, and we're always
8:15.
when we both worked there together, we were always both, and we nicknamed ourselves the president and vice president of the 8:15 club. So.
Next question, what's your advice for people who are struggling?
People are struggling. Hopefully they're a Christian. They can dive into the Bible and really find any answer they want to find in the Bible. The problem is if they're not, what do you tell somebody that's struggling? They don't have that focus on the right thing. When my son passed away, I had a buddy of mine that sent me a card, and on the front of it was Jesus rocking a baby. How does somebody get through something like that that's not a Christian? I've had my struggles through life, but nothing that I couldn't make it through without just praying or relying on family that God has put there, friends. My advice is just to get a good network of, network's not a good word there, but a good group of friends, family, and a good church to be a part of. In any struggle that you're in, if you have those in place, you're going to get through that struggle. It's just going to make you stronger. It's like a storm. They always say, storms are going to make you stronger, and they do. They do. It's just you gotta keep that focus, and you gotta hopefully have that foundation. So,
I'll have two questions. This first one, a little bit more lighthearted. What's your favorite Star Wars character? We have posters all around.
Well, I was wondering if y'all were
gonna.
come on. We actually watched episode 2 last night.
Oh yeah.
And episode 1, 2, and 3 are not my favorites, but
I'm
out of the whole series,
I'm a prequel person. I love them.
You like 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, I love them.
Now, the actual 1, 2, and 3?
Like Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. And,
Yeah, okay.
Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie.
I mean, that's good. Empire Strikes Back is the best out of the original trilogy.
See, I got to go see that at the drive-in.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the Han Solo thing.
Oh, cool.
I won that at that. Got a dead battery too, but I'll have to show you that R2 after we're done. That's remote control.
Oh, really?
And it actually does the sounds.
Is that from Disney World?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that there.
So Callie and I got to go. It was in 2021. Justin Stone, Ricky Stone's son, he's owns Galax Insurance in Galax. Justin and now his wife Julie, at the time was fiance. We all 4 got to go to Disney on Rainbow because we earned the trip. That was the best $140 I ever spent because the rest of the day in the line we were just playing with R2. It was probably what's my favorite? Wow, I don't know. Probably R2D2 because he's the only one that's not whiny. We were talking about episode 2 last night and how much Anakin was a whiner and all this stuff. And Luke was definitely a whiner, sometimes. And
runs in the family.
Yeah, right?
But,
father like son.
I got to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters. They released it back in May or late April for the 20th anniversary. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
To see that in theaters.
So the week before I got married, episode 1 came out. So I remember being at the Bluefield Theater at the movie or at the mall in between Bluefield and Princeton, camping out to watch the midnight showing of episode 1. So
that's exciting.
And I have to say though, episode 4, 5, and 6 are my. Of course, they're the originals too. Now I like some of the spin-off. I like Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue is pretty good.
I like Han Solo.
Besides that, I'm not a huge Disney Star Wars guy.
7, 8, 9. I can't.
I like the animation. Have you watched the shows, like Clone Wars?
I have not.
I've really good.
Here and there, but not enough.
Clone Wars is really good.
Especially the last few seasons.
I didn't know you watched Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That's what got me into Star Wars.
I'll have to check that out though.
Because I was about 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I started watching. I saw Clone Wars on. I watched the first season. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, Cartoon Network.
So funny enough, Clone Wars is I think what got a lot of people my age into Star Wars. So it's just I think what age you get into Star Wars is which kind of your favorite time period and favorite part of it is. So a lot of prequel kids, people in their 20s like the prequels and stuff, and kids younger like the animation stuff. So it's really neat. And I think you talk about bringing people together. If you've ever been to a Comic-Con or anything like that.
I have not, but I've seen some of it.
Really cool. And
yeah.
It's just a good vibe. Everybody likes Star Wars.
Yeah.
And everybody can come from a lot of different backgrounds and stuff and just come and have a good time. So
yeah.
I love it. And it's cool to see.
Yeah.
People
yeah, I've got a few Star Wars things around here. So my kids have been giving me a lot of it for Christmas and stuff. And of course I've got my kids around here too. And then my 3 varsity teams that I coached. I mean, I coached for the high school a lot more than 3 years, but those are my 3 varsity girls teams.
And you've got a Tar Heel here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You should have a Blue Devil.
Of course, I've got the Emory and Henry. That's the only reason why I have to come to work every day, because I gotta send money to that school. So, somebody gave me that. I don't even know who gave it to me. So I have to put that right up there. It's overlooking the Tar Heel.
Yeah.
So
as it should be.
As long as I don't have a puke. I mean, Duke.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I've been 4 times. 2 times I've actually stood with the Crazies. That was an experience all in itself.
I bet.
One when I was a teenager. One was back in 2019 before I left teaching. And then I went and sat in the regular seats this past year. And then one year we went, this is when I was teaching and doing rainbows. I had 2 full-time jobs. So I had a little more to help, do things we'd never done before. And I sent an email to Coach K's media assistant that helps with like giveaways and things like that. Nicole Lyons gave it to me to Coach Lyons. Yeah. And talk about one of my heroes from Carroll County. Coach Lyons is the bomb.
She's awesome.
I sent her a thing, and I said, look, it's my daughter's senior year. She's always wanted to come to a game. And her 18th birthday is coming up. Didn't hear anything for a while. So I went ahead and bought tickets. That's when we stood with the Crazies. And I took one of her teammates with us. And then I heard back like in January, her birthday was November, so it was a little bit after, but said, we want you to be guest of Duke at an ACC game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we got to see, it was Boston College, and even though I don't really consider them part of the ACC, but I'm a traditionalist on the ACC.
But not exactly a coastal
but it was
team.
really cool. It was during what was the thing with Tom Brady, where he had too much air in the
deflated football.
Deflate gate or whatever it's called. So we were playing, oh my God, I'm not. Duke was playing Boston College, and all the Crazies had these signs that like, you cheaters and all this stuff, But we were actually sitting 5 rows behind the Duke bench, and this was Zion's year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That must have been electric.
Really cool. So it was really cool because you could stand up and clap, but you had to sit back down. You could not stand up at all. You had people telling you, sit down, like people that work there. And then when they call timeouts, there's a whole row of people that stand up so you cannot see into.
Oh, wow.
And if you take your camera out to take any pictures during timeouts, they tell you to, put it up. They don't want you filming.
So
Coach
they are
K.
watching the video and stuff.
Yeah, so it was, but we snuck a few pictures in. But yeah, it was a cool experience, even though, and funny thing was I wore a Carolina shirt all the way down there.
Oh, no.
Making my daughter and her friend and Natalie went with us to that game. Thinking I was going to wear it in. I'm not stupid. So they got out of the car, started walking. I changed shirts real quick. And so they're like, well, thank you, Dad, for doing that.
You're harassing.
I was like, I really wanted to go in there like that. But the history of that place it is amazing. One day I will go to the Dean Smith Center.
Yeah, it's not necessary. You're not missing out on
The
anything.
Dean Dome. I'll get out of here, Ethan.
But, our last question is a little bit deeper, but that is, what is the meaning of life to you?
Wow. Talk about deep. Meaning of life. Just living life. I mean, I can't use the words, but living life to the fullest, being with family, taking the time. We're in such a world that it's on the go all the time. We kind of forget that we need to slow down and just live. Just live. Be around family. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the time that you do have on this earth. And I keep reminding myself, doesn't matter what job you're at, if you're gone the next day, they're going to replace you. So don't take your job as your number one priority. And sometimes I get caught up in that. My wife will tell you that all the time. But family needs to come first. Life is about family, friends, the community, your church, and just enjoying the time you do have together, because you never know, when you're not going to have that time. So it's, yeah, I mean, life is, I guess I could do a Forrest Gump thing. But yeah, it's just slowing down enough to enjoy family, friends, and I think that's what life needs to be about, is who you're blessed to be around, and just enjoy the time you do have with them.
Sure.
Yeah. Mr. Harris, it's been an honor to speak with you.
All right, thank you guys. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.